Hello everyone, my name is Lakna. Welcome to my channel. So I want to talk about the first new moon for 2024, which is happening on January 11th. So this new moon is happening in Sagittarius in the Nakshatra called Purva Ashada. I really feel that this new moon is the real beginning of 2024 because new moons really do signify the start of a new chapter. And we ended the year of 2023 with a very tumultuous full moon in the nakshatra called Ardra. So Ardra has really been wanting us to transmute our pain and our wounds and really transform and transcend into something new. And that process doesn't happen overnight, that takes time. So I feel that we are still releasing old energies and purging out what no longer serves us. So the first 2 weeks of January is about that. And also Mercury moved direct on the 1st of Jan. So this 2 weeks is the post-shadow phase of Mercury, where Mercury is still regaining its full strength, and we are also still regaining our strength. And we're still recovering, we're recharging, we're integrating the insights that came through during that Mercury retrograde period. So the first few weeks of January, we can slowly start to move forward, but it's not so much moving and charging full speed ahead. It's more so about planning, preparing, doing the behind the scenes work, maybe processing things from last year, really reflecting and reviewing on last year and just the insights and the experiences that have happened and whatever wants to come up in this time, because a lot of things are still coming up for us to process and integrate. We don't want to move full speed ahead while we're still half processing and integrating things, because we won't be moving in the right direction. So this is good. But after this new moon, we will have more strength and we'll feel more enthusiastic and energized to really go for whatever it is that we want to do with our lives. So this new moon is the perfect time to really go within, sit in solitude and silence, and allow the guidance to come through. So Jupiter is really going to expand the insights that want to come through for you at this time, because Jupiter moved direct on December 31st. So this forward movement of Jupiter, give it that 2 weeks to really regain its strength as well. And also Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, so this new moon has a massive energy of this Jupiterian themes of abundance, expansion, good luck, optimism, higher wisdom and learning. So it's beautiful. So really allow yourself to go within and reflect on whatever wants to come up, because the moon will be the darkest at this time, which means we also need to sit in our darkness and see whatever wants to come up. And then from those insights, then reflect and review and write your intentions. So let's talk about this new moon. The nakshatra is called Purva Ashada, which means the early invincible one. And this is powerful. This star just has the innate knowing of the invincibility that we hold. And we all have this innate knowing from the earliest start of our time, because it is through this process of really taking on programming from life and from the people around us, from the situations that we experience, that we slowly forget more and more that how much power that we truly hold. And this is the time for us to remember that we are invincible. And this is a big theme that I noticed, and I talked about this in the Mercury retrograde video that I made. And so this Mercury retrograde insights that we are now, it's now time for us to fully integrate, is to really take back our power, to not dim our light for anyone, and to really speak our truth and to live our truth, live fully, authentically, and not be afraid to do that. Sometimes there are people or situations that seem more powerful than ourselves, but we have to remember that we always hold the power. We can always overcome anything, any obstacle that gets thrown in our way, and this star will really emphasize that strength to us. This is the invincible star, and it is like a spiritual warrior. This Sagittarian energy is so strong and powerful, and really is like ready to fight for the deepest truth. So it is truly like a spiritual warrior star that wants to know the most deepest, highest wisdom of truth, and to follow that morally, ethically, righteously. So that is the theme of this star. And some people say that, some astrologers say that this star can be overly righteous and sometimes get thrown off course or go down paths that are not aligned because of having such a deep devotion into some sort of spiritual belief system. And you know, that is when things like wars can happen, or very intense arguments even can happen when you have such a strong fixed belief system. And it made me think, this star is ruled by Venus. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. So in Vedic astrology, Jupiter and Venus, they're both benevolent planets, but they don't get along. Venus is our heart and what we desire, our worldly desires, and Venus is a lot to do with this material world. And Jupiter is all about the higher wisdom and higher learning and spiritual truths and very godlike energy. These are two beautiful, benevolent planets, and it just made me think about how to deal with a situation when someone is, maybe it's even yourself, is being overly righteous or really not really fixed in their beliefs and what is right. And I think it's always important, more than being right or righteous or following the deepest truth, I think what is most important is always stepping back and really tapping into your heart and really making sure that the actions you take and the words you speak and the things that you do always align with your heart. And I'm just saying this because I see that there's so much wars going on in our world. There's so much fighting, there's so many disagreements and disharmony and separation going on in our world. And if I feel that this simple tool will just really help so much of that, is if people are able to just, before fighting for their rights, like just taking a step back and tapping into your heart space, like literally just put your hand on your heart and make sure that you are aligned with your heart, and whatever action, whatever you're going to say next, do next, it actually is coming from a place of love. Because sometimes that is more important than doing what is right. Because we all have certain belief systems and nothing is necessarily true or right or wrong. Those sort of things, they, like what is right and what is wrong, like those answers get so blurred, especially right now in our reality when there's so many truths and there's so many rights and wrongs. Like there's so much information in our world right now. So I think the most important thing is to always tap back in to your heart and make sure whatever you do comes from a place of love. And I feel that this star, Purva Ashada, really has the ability to do that if they wish, because they are ruled by Venus and Jupiter. So it's like Venus is really making sure you are following your heart, while also balancing that out with that Jupiterian wisdom of higher understanding, and really also being able to discern the deepest truths in life. And that discernment really does come through listening to your heart as well as your mind, and like really making sure everything is fully in alignment with your higher self. So this star is also known as the unsubdued star, Purva. So it's like nothing can be suppressed in this star. So it doesn't matter how much you try to run away from or hide or block out things in your life, they will come out one way or another. And what this star teaches us is that if we do try and suppress anything, it will become more and more amplified and exaggerated in our life until we face it. So we may as well face it and deal with it so that it doesn't become this exaggerated issue in our life. And you see that with like shadow issues with people. Like if you, for example, if you were, this is a really dark example, but if you were like really badly abused as a child, and you really don't heal that, maybe you block it out, you suppress it, you will either become an abuser yourself, or you become the perpetrator, or you become the victim of abuse, and you keep attracting the same situation. And now is the time for us to really reflect on any patterns in our life, any habits, any sort of toxic cycles that we have kept repeating, or any sort of behaviors, habits within ourselves that we keep repeating, and ask yourself why that is, because there's something within us that we now that we know the pattern, it's our responsibility to heal that and to deal with that so that we don't continue living on that way. And remember that we always hold the power to overcome any of these obstacles, any of these things that have happened to us. We are the invincible ones. The star teaches us that we can overcome whatever that is. And Sagittarius, especially this star, is such a spiritual warrior of a star that is always fighting for this deeper truth that is the most morally, ethically right. And I think that's so beautiful, of really making sure that you're living towards really high morals and high ethics, and you reflect on that, on what your values are to yourself, and you get to decide what they are and what they mean to you, like what your life means to you and what is important to you. Now is a really powerful time to really reflect on that and ask yourself why it is you're doing the things you're doing. And also ask yourself, what if you had nothing at all to worry about, nothing at all to fear in your life, if you knew that you were so powerful that you could overcome any obstacle, any hurdle, any delay, any sort of thing that would come in your way, that you had nothing to fear at all because you are invincible, what would you do with your life? Ask yourself that, because you are that. So you get to do whatever it is that you feel called to do. And if there's any fears, any doubts, any blocks that are coming up in your thought process, like really reflect on that. And there's some suppressed things there that are really separating you from your power, and it's time for us to really heal those things and really take our power back. This is a reoccurring theme that's been coming up that I've noticed with the astrology, with the Mercury retrograde phase as well as the Jupiter retrograde phase. And now both of these planets are moving forward. So it's time for us to really integrate those lessons of whatever happened to us in the past. When these planets were retrograde, we were reflecting on our past and what was taking away from our power, or what we felt as though was taking away from our power, because we hold that responsibility to reclaim our power and to take full responsibility and control back in our life. So we can do that, and this new moon is the time to reflect on all of those themes to do with our strength and our power. Another, like a symbol of this star, is the elephant's tusk, which I find beautiful because it's, you know, the elephant's tusk is something that so many people are after, and they sell that for so much money, and sometimes people have to like kill the entire elephant just to gain this beautiful precious tusk. And this is so symbolic to show that sometimes our beauty and our wisdom and our strength and our power, all of that, people will try and take that from us, and like literally that can kill us, like that can really kill our spirit if we don't live fully, authentically and freely and really shine our light. And we don't need sorry, we don't need to be afraid of anyone trying to take that from us, because that elephant's tusk will grow back. The elephant will be okay, like just like us, we will be okay, and we are strong like the elephant. We can overcome anything. So yeah, that's a theme. Another theme is the deity of this nakshatra is Apas, who is the water god, and water is a massive part of this star. So water is also a massive part of us. Our bodies are made up of over 85% of water. And the thing is with water, the water within us, and just water, the ocean as well, like water can get contaminated. And this is the time where we really need to cleanse and purify our bodies, like our water bodies. We need to cleanse that. So on the day of this new moon, I really like to fast on the time of the new moon. So I'm going to do a massive water fast if anyone wants to do that with me. It's such a powerful time though. Whatever you decide to take into your body, just like really be mindful of your actual diet, of what you do consume and what you allow, because you know, these, whatever it is that you're consuming, that is altering that water in your body, and we want to purify that, and we want to cleanse that. So even like going to the beach or having a bath or having a very intentional shower at the time of this new moon would be a powerful thing to do. Sagittarius is a fire sign, so make the most of this fiery energy as well. That is super passionate, creative, inspirational. This is the time where we can really create and birth new ideas, and really let's tap into this beautiful Sagittarius energy for 2024, which is so optimistic and carefree and free-spirited. Sagittarius is one of the most adventurous signs, and life is short, so we need to make the most of it. Venture out and do whatever it is you feel called to. Long distance travel as well, and like spiritual learning, higher wisdom, searching for those deeper truths in life. Like this is all the themes of Sagittarius that can come up at the time of this new moon. So I hope that it is all beautiful insights and beautiful integration that comes through for all of you. I hope you all have the most healing new moon. I will see you all in my next video.